just the passage of time. I'm going to read you the very beginning, because this is in Loki's voice, not the voice of the writer of the Poetic Edda. Although my little, and I say this in the geekiest possible way, from the Old Norse translation of the Poetic Edda is also in here if you want to read it. It's quite bad translation and it's quite bad poetry, but I did it from the Old Norse and I'm really quite childishly proud of this. It starts with that and then continues with Loki's voice. I know a tale, O sons of earth, I speak it as I must, of how 9 trees gave life to worlds that giants held in trust. Okay, stop. Stop right there. That was the authorized version. The prophecy of the oracle, as told to Odin All-Father by the head of Mimir the Wise, and dealing in 36 stanzas with all of the history of the 9 worlds, from Let There Be Light to Ragnarok. Pretty neat, don't you think? Well, this isn't the authorized version. This is my version of events. And the first thing you have to understand about this little narrative is that there is no real beginning, or real end for that matter, although of course there have been many of both. Multiple endings, multiple beginnings, woven together so tightly that no one can tell them apart anymore. Endings, beginnings, prophecies, myths, stories, legends and lies, all part of the same big carpet. Especially the lies, of course, which is what you knew I'd say, me being the father and mother of lies. But this time it's at least as true as anything you'd call history. See, this is the thing about history. His story. That's all it is. The old man's version of events, which basically the rest of us are supposed to accept as the undisputed truth. Well, call me cynical, but I've never been one to take things on trust. And I happen to know that history is nothing but spin and metaphor, which is what all yarns are made of when you strip them down to the underlay. And what makes a hit, or a myth, of course, is how that story is told, and by whom. Most of what we know as history came to us from a single text, the prophecy of the oracle. It's an old text, in an old language, and for a long time it was pretty much all the knowledge we had. From beginning to end, the oracle and the old man had it all worked out between them, which made it all the more galling that we only found out what it really meant when it was too late for all of us. But we'll get to that soon enough. Sticks and stones may break my bones, as they say in the middle worlds, but with the right words, you can build a world and make yourself the king of it. King or even God, which brings us back to the old man, that master storyteller, keeper of runes, lord of poetry, scribe of first and last times. Creationists would have us believe that every word of his story is true, but poetic license was always the old man's middle name. Of course, he has a lot of names. So do I. And because this isn't history, but mystery, my story, let's start with me for a change. Others have already had their chance to tell their version of events. This is mine. I'm calling it Loka Brenna, or in rough translation, the Gospel of Loki. Loki, that's me. Loki, the light bringer, the misunderstood, the elusive, the handsome and modest hero of this particular tissue of lies. Take it with a pinch of salt, but it's at least as true as the official version and, dare I say it, more entertaining. So far, history, such as it is, has cast me in a rather unflattering role. Now it's my turn to take the stage. Let there be light.